One, I'm live. Hey, everybody, I'm back again with another special conversation with Mr. Clark. This is my second one for the day. Thank everybody for tuning in and who's going to tune in, and I hope everybody take these conversations and share them because these are very important dialogue that we are having um, right now regarding mental health. Mental health is something that's big and that's very high on my agenda that I don't really particularly discuss as much as I would like to, but I am going to change that and discuss it more because mental health is a topic we tend to run away from. I believe mental health is a topic that we run away so much from it, it gets worse. And my hope is that we take these conversations to Stevante Clark Sundays at Stefan's house, the resource center we're going to build in his name, and we continue to further this dialogue so that way we could be a part of the solution instead of just talking about the problem. So my guest for today is a good friend of mine, a good buddy of mine, who's always joining me, Nickolas Wildstar. I'm going to bring him in right now. My God. How you doing, brother? Hold on. Let me see. I can't hear you on my end.
You hear me now?
Yes, sir. I hear you. How you doing, brother?
All right, cool. I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you pulling me into this chat. You know what I'm saying?
Always, always.
Peace and blessings to you, and much love to the family.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Same, likewise to you and Baby Wildstar. I love
Thank
you
you
guys.
very much.
I love y'all unconditional from the heart. I love everybody in Fresno. Fresno. I don't know if you're familiar with the homeless numbers in Fresno,
Mm-hmm.
or the homeless epidemic out there in Fresno. But out here in Sacramento, we have a by according to what the city has counted, they have reported up to 5,000 people sleeping on the streets in Sacramento on any given night. We know that's a lot less than the people that are sleeping on the streets of LA. Somewhere to up to a night could be up to 20,000 people on any given night sleeping in the streets or in their cars in the streets of LA.
Right.
Fresno, what's the homeless situation like there in Fresno, and what needs to be addressed in lack thereof?
It's pretty bad. I mean, it's about 3 to 4 thousand people that are displaced here in Fresno, and that's for many reasons. Whether they're dealing with a mental health issue, or they're a military veteran that unfortunately was just ran through the system. You have families that were with small children that unfortunately are ineligible for or ineligible for benefits. So because of that, they don't receive any assistance. So they're sleeping out of their cars, hotels, and of course you have those that are living on the streets as well. So it's pretty bad, and unfortunately, because of this whole coronavirus situation, the city hasn't really addressed on how to help the homeless. They kind of put all of those type of activities on hold since they're deemed to be non-essential right now. You know, so it's sad that they're getting ignored on the scale to where we don't really hear much of what's going on with them right now, as far as them receiving the assistance that they need, um, or any treatment for coronavirus. But they are definitely high risk people. They're out there, they're living in habitats where you would think would be completely unsanitary, would be a hotbed for the virus to breed. But you don't hear about that. You don't see that happening. And it's pretty much just like a shutout by the mainstream media about this information. So it's up to independent journalists, people like you and me, to go out there and kind of report from the streets as to what's really going on.
Yeah, I think we have to, and I think it's necessary. That's why we have it in our Constitution, the freedom of press. And we need to get out there and get out the real news, because the media is not going to give us this real news. I was talking to Libertarian presidential candidate Serene earlier,
All right.
and we had a powerful dialogue when it comes to mental health. So you should probably check it out when you get a chance. And I want everybody tuning in and also check it out if they get a chance, because Serene, is an awesome person with great energy.
Yes,
And,
absolutely.
yeah, great energy. Another when it comes to mental health, another thing I was talking about and bringing up is how the mental health is a big part of the reason you see a large influx in the homeless community.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people, they're given drugs to treat a problem that cannot be treated with just drugs.
Exactly.
Back in the day, they had mental asylums, places like Bedlam Hospital. They had places that were horrible, that did not treat our mentally ill well, but at least they had a roof over their heads, you could say, right?
Right.
What they say, 3 hots in a cot. They have that, right?
Yeah.
But the mental asylums failed. Um, the surgeries and electroshock therapy they try to do failed. Even those one of those procedures, as you know, won a Nobel Peace Prize that was performed on the sister of JFK, who had mental health issues, and they put her in a mental asylum. The JF the Kennedy family put theirs in a mental asylum because they didn't know how to treat and deal with the illness.
Yeah.
So this isn't just a black and white thing. This isn't just a rich or a poor thing. Mental health is a topic we as a people tend to run away from, but
Mm.
we as a people are affected by it. Mental health is like a natural disaster. It does not discriminate.
Right.
Mental health does not discriminate, no matter class, race, gender, or sex. Um, when it comes to mental health, because I want to get it back on there. And the asylums failed, the mental institutions failed, the drugs, the olanzapine, the lithium, the Haldol, the Zyprexa, the Percocets, that all that has failed. The insulin failed. The electroshock therapy failed. The lobotomy, whatever they used to call it, failed. Um, and now the new, I guess, solution to that seems to be jails and prisons.
Mm-hmm.
Jails and prison. Get them high, get them drugged up, have them out there looking like something off The Walking Dead, then lock they Walking Dead asses up.
Yeah.
That's what seems to be the only solution these people are coming up with. And when they're releasing these people into our communities, they have not been rehabilitated at all. You know that, Nick.
No.
You know that. They have
Yeah.
not they have not been treated at all.
Yeah.
They
If
went
anything,
in
you're
there,
more
they
mentally.
got their they went in there, they get the little 3 hots in the cot, they come back out, they terrorize the fucking community. Sorry, did I say that wrong? Excuse my French.
Hey, you
To
just
all the
read out.
Christians listening, to all the Christians and Democrats, excuse my French. Sorry. But sometimes I get passionate in this fight because it's serious.
Right.
It's so damn serious. They let the people out with schizophrenic issues, bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. There's different types of bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
The paranoid schizophrenics. People with anxiety issues. People with depression issues. Because depression and anxiety and all these other things, a lot of things, the black community, we don't talk about it as openly enough as I would like for us to talk about.
No. But it's coupled all in, and that's the problem, is the way that our health industry kind of approaches dealing with mental health problems is it's a one
Yes.
size fits all type of a
The stigma.
treatment, you
The
know?
stigma around the mental health.
Yeah.
How do we destigmatize that when it comes to because mental health is Imagine a police officer with mental health issues. Would you want that police officer working in your community?
Hell no. But it happens all the time, and that's because they really don't go through a proper evaluation to find out if they're mentally fit to actually serve the people of the community. But that's what I'm saying, is because the mental health industry is so outdated with regards to how it actually treats people. There
Yeah.
needs to be some reform there. And here in the state of California, it's
Especially,
since
yes, and especially when it comes, I don't know if you agree with me, but especially when it comes to law enforcement.
oh yeah, of course.
Because they spend almost 90% of their training on how to use guns and beat up black people, and only 10% of that training goes to mental health. What the
The
hell?
worst part is they're not trained in de-escalation tactics, and
No,
when
that's
they're
why
approaching
I've been. That's
somebody with
why.
a
That's
mental health
why.
issue.
That's why I've been preaching since day one. We need our own de-escalation tactical teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I keep telling people that. They look at me like I'm crazy. I don't know shit, But we need our own de-escalation tactical teams, because if we don't protect ourselves, they're gonna keep killing us, because they have mental health issues that they can't bring up, because they know if they bring up their mental health issues to their superior, they're out of a job.
Exactly.
You know it as much as I do. If you bring up your mental health issues to your superior, your ass is fired.
And that's the stigma around mental health, is because it isn't embraced in a way to where it's compassionate. That's the perception that they like you to think. But in reality, it's all about some type of authoritarian control. Like you said, a lot of people don't want to go to their employer and say they're dealing with some mental health issue, because it could end up with them either losing their job or getting incarcerated or thrown in a mental health facility, some mental hospital. So it's awful that this actually happens on a large scale. And I've been arrested before and have been thrown into the psych ward because I.
Oh, you've been in the mental institution?
Oh yeah, I've been in jail. They popped me with the shot and shit, and then you feeling lethargic.
How long were you in the mental institution for?
That happened for 7 days. Yeah, they held me there for 7 days.
And where were you at? Were you in LA?
I was at I believe it's called Olive View Medical Center out in Santa Ana or something like that. But yeah, I was out in Orange County.
Explain the reason they had brought you into the mental institution.
Well, that another issue that I was going to talk about is spirituality. A lot of the people that you speak with on the streets that are dealing with mental health issues have tapped into a level of spirituality to where they're just, I guess, speaking from the soul, and a lot of that information, because it is looked at as being controversial, ends up landing them in a place to where they're not properly cared for or treated. If you had churches going out and dealing with the issue, you may see a turnaround in the amount of people that actually end up in mental health hospitals or jails because they hear voices in their head, and it's crazy because that's exactly what a lot of us go through, this kind of spiritual revelation, to where we start whether you're Christian or Muslim or a Jewish person, whatever the case may be, you have this evolving of character when you start diving into spirituality, and it unlocks a lot of the mind. And the mental health professionals, again, they have a by the way book way of doing things, and it's awful because that book does not also include those people that are dealing with a spiritual evolution, a spiritual awakening within them. I went through that personally. I started talking to friends.
So the reason you were in the mental institution, you believe, was because of a more of a spiritual reason?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know that's exactly what happened.
What were you doing? Were you talking to yourself?
Well, no, I was talking to friends and family members about, revelation. that I had.
And then they reported you?
Well, one friend in particular, he wanted me to see a doctor to see if I was okay, even though, you know.
So a friend. So hold on. So a friend called him on you?
Mm-hmm. Friend called him on me, and not called him on.
Are you there?
Took me to the hospital. So we go to the hospital and shit. I'm talking to the doctor, chopping it up, telling him I can see auras and shit, you know, and that I kind of can tell when I enter a room energetically if the person is inviting me in, or you know, if they're turning me away. You know, the differentiation between good and evil, and and basically when I was telling the doctor this, he was like, cool, I understand. I would keep you on a 24-hour hold. That 24-hour hold that turned into 72 hours. That 72 hours turned into a week. It was a weekend, and you know, and a holiday weekend, Martin Luther King Day of all days. So yeah, me and Martin Luther King holidays, you know, I always go through some kind of epiphany for some reason. But yeah, so they wouldn't let me out on my own accord because of whatever reasons, some you know, mental health guidelines. If you are admitted into a mental health facility, they won't leave on your own recognizance.
So they had you on they had you on like a 5150 kind of hold.
I guess it's called a 5250. Believe it or not. You know.
Well, excuse me, pardon me.
What up on the 51? So
hey, you boy, you special.
Definitely, shit. But and that's
so you were going around telling people some revelation you had.
Mm-hmm. Just more understandings, more of my own personal understandings of God, and with me being raised in a Christian church, you know, and learning the Bible, it was always taught to me, but I felt like I didn't learn it. Does that make sense?
You felt like you had somebody, you felt like you had a preacher, not really a teacher.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And
don't preach to me, teach me something, damn it.
Exactly. And growing up, they sit you down with this book, you know, you're 6 years old, you're 7, 10, 12, or whatever the case may be, and they're telling you to read this book, and it's a whole bunch of guidelines and stories that they tell you that your life is supposed to reflect in some way, shape, or form. But
Wildstar, are you a Christian?
I am. I would consider myself to be of Christian faith.
But you believe in Jesus as the Son of God.
Absolutely, but I also believe we are all the sons of God. I believe we are.
Well, the Bible says we are made in His image.
Exactly, and that's where the teaching part comes in.
Okay, so we don't want to get. Hold on, let's get back to the mental health institution. So, whoa.
Right.
Big revelation. Listen. Okay, so you were talking about your revelation, some type of revelation you seen or heard or from the Bible or a voice you had in your head or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
To friends and family. One friend called the police or mental police on you, mental health unit, whatever, so to speak. You went to the mental health institution thinking you were going to be there for a day or two, and you end up being there for a week.
Yep.
Did they have you take any drugs during intake?
And that's the thing. You read this paper that they give you telling you that you have the right to refuse any and all medication, but
if you don't do the drugs, you stay.
Tell them, brother.
If you don't do the drugs, your ass is staying in the crazy house. You're not leaving Bedlam unless you do the damn drugs. And, oh man, they had me look. Wildstar. The lady came in there with a list, looking like the scrolls. You know what I mean? She came to me. She said, "Mr. Clark, yeah, okay, pick one."
Right.
I said, "What's this do?" She said, "Oh, this keep you up at night. This might have you shaking at night." I said, "What's this do?" She said, "This might have you throwing up. Might have you shit." I said, "Oh shit." I said, "What's this do?" She said, "It's gonna keep you up all night. You won't be able to." I said, "Oh man."
No,
You
it's
know,
like
you have to pick your poison. And if you don't take the drugs in a mental institution, you stay. And they have a drug for everybody. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how gangster you are. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how smart you are. They got a drug that'll knock you out.
Knock me the fuck out.
That will
knock me the fuck out. I refused it to the last day where I finally took the drug. Dude, I swear, I felt like I slept an entire day. I mean,
I refuse it too.
I took the drug because they told me what you said. They said you can't leave unless you take it. I was like, all right, fuck it, fine. So I finally popped this pill, man. I was out. I wouldn't let them take blood either.
They try to take blood from you? Oh, they try to take blood from me too.
They try to take blood from you.
They try to take blood from me too.
No, can't have my blood.
They was giving people a bag of chips and a can of soda for some blood.
Right. You know they try.
I said, if I give you some of this blood.
Yeah. They want that DNA. Like what's his name said, the rapper.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, exactly. Shit.
Yeah. So what drug did they have you taking? Do you know?
I don't even know, man, because that was the thing is they, I guess, came up with some sort of prescription for me that they felt like would be best. And they
said, what did they have you doing? Did they say, were you like acting erratic and
no.
What was your during your intake when it said your problems, what kind of problems during intake did they diagnose you with? What did they actually diagnose you with?
They didn't. They said I was having a bipolar episode, and they think my friend overreacted by bringing me to the hospital. I'm like, okay, but then let me the fuck go. You know what I'm saying? If we come to this conclusion, and he's like, well, we still want to review things, and unfortunately, we want to see how the medication works with you first. So if you wouldn't mind, they kind of talked me into it. You know what I'm saying? So I finally took the pill. I was arguing against giving them blood. While I was knocked out, I kid you not, they came in and took blood, man. Because I woke up and shit, and I had the fucking, the Dadomon.
No.
With the cotton ball and shit. I'm like, I didn't authorize any of this. Yeah, they do it without your permission. And when you're in there, you're their property, including when you're in jail. When I was in jail, I was shouting at the cops, fuck you, all of this shit. They threw me down in the psych ward with the 5150 or whatever, took all my clothes, just gave me like some little rap shit to wear. And then started yelling at them about that because it was freezing fucking cold in the cell.
Well, if you wasn't being an asshole, you kind of.
I'm a protest the entire time that I'm in jail. I'm not going to go in there and make it seem like I want to be there. Fuck that. You need to let me go right now. Shit. I'm caught. They run me through bullshit.
But my jail experience was completely different from my mental health, my mental institution experience. When I'm asking you about the mental institution, I really want to know.
You breaking up, man. You left there. You still with me, man? You're frozen.
In the building.
No. All right, there you go.
There we go. We good? Is that your
up the jail thing because they threw me in the damn solitary, whatever the hell.
They threw you in the hole, the solitary confinement.
They threw me in the hole, put this little jacket on me, and then popped me in the ass with the fucking needle. And then I was out, and I was out again. You know what I'm saying? Woke up drooling and shit. I'm like, oh damn, man, that shit will fuck you up. They don't care about your medical history. They don't look into any of that stuff to see if you're going to have an allergic reaction. You could possibly die. It could be against my religious belief to be vaccinated.
You know what, Wildstar? I would love to see you on one of those 60 Days In shows. Have you?
Hey, what shows?
It's called 60 Days In. Have you heard of it?
No, what the fuck is that?
Huh?
What's that?
It's when they get random people like you and they put them in jail for 60 days.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean?
I'd have that motherfucking like I'd have everybody in there. It would be like they'd be overtaking the prison and shit. They probably wouldn't want that.
Nah, because I tell you, like, no vaccines, you get shot in the ass.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Nope.
And
I'm gonna cause a ride up in that bitch. They don't want me up in there.
yeah, you know, everybody love everybody. So listen, anyways, so the mental institution, after you were in there and you finally took the drugs, they let you go home, I take it, right?
No, they wouldn't let me go on my own. I had to have a friend or a family member come and get me. I'm from Wisconsin. The majority of my family is in fucking Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? And so the girl I was dating at the time, thankfully, came and, signed the paperwork so I could leave. But other than that, shit, who knows how long I would have been kept in there,
Yeah.
So yeah, thank God I got free. So
I'm glad you're out of there. You know, I was in there for a little bit, and we had a few conversations while I was in there. And what I like about you, though, you know, we might have our disagreements. We disagree on a lot of things. We disagree on more things than we agree on. But one thing, but one thing we're loyal to each other, and it's a respect for one another. You know, even though you kind of went on at me at Twitter one time that I ain't gonna never forget that.
Whatever, man.
Playing pop, but this, I know you love me, but
hey, I'm gonna break it to you. Let me get for real, because I'm gonna apologize to you.
No. I want to say something. Let me say something first. You don't have to apologize. I love you. Don't worry about it. Look, what I want to say is it was political. And, you know, the attack wasn't personal. It was political. And this is what I want people to understand. Everybody watching is in politics, you cannot have morals. Yeah. So when he did that, I understood that and was like, oh, that's good. I was looking like, damn, okay, good. Attack me. Even though I'm not going to respond. It was just, I was happy because, you know, as when I was your campaign manager for a little bit, I wanted you to go at everybody. You know what I mean? I was a bulldog. And it was going to be me and you taking over. I was going to be lieutenant governor. You was going to be governor, And that's how I envision things. But
hey, I applied the tactics you taught me towards you.
I'm telling you. And you get on my nerves. No, but listen. So when you attacked me on the internet, I knew it wasn't personal. I knew it was political. Because in politics, you cannot have morals. And if you have an agenda in politics, you will say or do. Hold on. You still with me? You'll say or do what's necessary. You still with me, Wildstar?
Yes, sir.
And most of us, or people that are called or committed to their calling, because I'm committed to my calling, I'm called for my commitment. I believe you are too. Will have an agenda that is bigger than themselves. And in order to fulfill that agenda, in order to fight for what's right, because we don't just do this for us, we do this for future generations. The kids, kids. I don't do this for my first name. I do this for my last,
Mm-hmm.
So we have to, let people know, inform and educate them on this is the way politics is played at times. And most of the times it's done without morals and it's done dirty. Politics is dirty and there's no morals in it. And good politics, clean politics is just like that famous saying, nice guys finish last. You remember that saying? Nice guys finish last. I remember there was a point in time where the entire nation loved Chris Christie, where Chris Christie was one of those people that we envisioned him as the next president of the United States. After Bridgegate, After that election in 2016, he had lost all credibility. And if you remember, Bridgegate was a political fight with the people that were opposing him to have them held up on the bridge. You remember that?
Yeah, he held them hostage, you know.
And damaged his entire reputation.
Yeah.
He paid a price for that agenda.
Yeah. I mean, we see it happening all the time in politics. And when it comes down to a political agenda, if your goal is to serve the people, then nothing should stop you in achieving that. You know, you have to go full throttle at it. That's what I've learned from you. And with regards to what happened, I want to apologize to you on the fact that you were somebody at the time that when we met were recuperating from something that was devastating in your life. And as much as you felt like you were mentally fit, you got yourself involved, and I saw a great benefit from that. And we created this relationship to where I felt like moving forward, we would lock arms and I guess achieving that goal of Black liberation, so to speak, from what we talked about on code. So when it came to, I guess, me feeling like you weren't stepping up to the plate to, to give someone such as myself an opportunity to be heard, and help a brother up or whatever the case may be, I can't put that on your shoulders. Nobody should be putting that on your shoulders. And as much as I appreciate you as my brother for looking out for me when you did, I can't expect that from you all the time, And I think that's what we should start doing as a community, is stop putting so much responsibility on someone else to lift you up, or to help you achieve the goals that you seek in life, and that can cause your own mental stress upon the individual, because they look at their friends or family members like, oh, you got money, why don't you give me some money so I can, go to school, or you got this type of car, why can't I have that type of car? It causes this envious type of a nature, and we can become combative towards each other because of that, but you and I discussed de-escalation tactics and one of them was, brothers duking it out. You know what I'm saying? When we got beef with one another, shit, we can beat each other up, we can put some fists to it, we don't have to shoot to kill each other, and both of us go home at the end of the day and we both live, and we can put that conflict behind us and move on with our lives. This happens in the hood all the time. We don't do that in a political arena. There is no trial by combat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I remember there's a few times I tried to box your ass, and we try to set it up through charity or through.
Yeah.
We try to do something. We try to set it up.
Right. Hey, and I was calling you out on that. I'm like, let's do that shit right now. Shit.
Yeah, we can still do that. I'm all. you need your ass beat.
I'm ready, man. You come up to like here on me, right?
Damn, look, Wildstar, don't play with me.
I could just reach out.
Wildstar, don't play with me.
Hard ass nigga.
Wildstar, come on now. You know who ran your campaign, man.
Yeah, I let you.
Hey, but you were smart choosing me as your leader. You were smart, because what I did was I helped you help the Libertarian Party, and you brought me to the Libertarian Party. I would have never even known about the Libertarian Party if it wasn't for you.
Right.
I give you that. But my connection to you was, for me, of course, political, because the Democrats tried to use my brother for their agenda. the Republicans, I just couldn't fuck with the Republicans just based on, what I stood for at that time, which I do, my mindset is I've grown a lot since 2018. And the Libertarians, you guys gave me a lot of power. Straight up. Let me say whatever I want. Let me do whatever I want. Let me speak however I want. Mm-hmm. I remember I was talking about legalizing prostitution. They said, yeah. They said, yeah. They said, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, we could decriminalize it. Probably can't legalize it, decriminalize it. But hey, it's a great idea, Mr. Clark. When I was like, damn. I said, let everybody do drugs. They said, yeah, let them all do drugs. Amsterdam, look at the Portugal model. These models that are going to. I was like, the Libertarians, no matter what I did or said, and then they called me and they said, we want you to be the keynote speaker for the Libertarian convention here in California. Then they just called me today and said, hey, we need you to be a national delegate for our convention in Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
The opportunities that I was given from you introducing me to the Libertarian Party, I'm forever grateful.
All right.
But now you're leaving the Libertarian, but at the end of the day, that boxing match is still on, whatever the fuck you want to happen. All right, at the end of the day, the Libertarian Party is a party that you're aligned to, but you're leaving.
Mm-hmm. I mean, currently I am a member of the Libertarian Party.
But are you a registered Republican as of now?
I'm a registered Libertarian as of now, but I will not be once the election is over.
So once the election is over, Nickolas Wildstar will be a Republican.
Correct. I pledge to run in 2022 as a gubernatorial candidate for the Republican Party. And hopefully I'll be able to challenge Governor Gavin Newsom and give him a run for his money. I feel like the Libertarian Party is great of the political field.
I love Gavin Newsom, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so as much as the Libertarian Party has been a great political vehicle to help me, pursue my desires in politics,
Libertarians don't win.
They don't want to win. They don't want to win. And that's the thing is when it comes to them having the structure, they lack that. They have all of the resources in the world, don't know how to use them. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of problems with the party itself, the dysfunction to where it's not beneficial to me as a candidate to help me actually achieve what I want, which is to get elected, get in office, and show people that libertarianism works. Just the philosophy of libertarianism. I don't need to be a Libertarian Party member in order to achieve that. I've been
when it comes, Nickolas, one of my problems when I was helping you with your campaign was because we were so all over the place. I tried to get the Clark Family Act passed. The CFA, you remember the CFA?
Absolutely.
Which was a great act.
And it's still a goal of mine.
Free Wi-Fi. But when we were trying to do these things, do you think the problem with being or the problem with not being as successful as you could have been were you didn't stick to one platform, you didn't stick to one fight, one cause? Do you feel like if you let's say our brother Berman, who sticks to taxation and theft, or our brother what's the guy? Hold on, don't give me a second. Our libertarian friend running for president, the military.
Kokesh.
What'd you say?
Kokesh.
Yeah, Adam Kokesh. Adam Kokesh, how he sticks to freedom and whatnot, and
how broad is freedom? You know what I mean?
But
freedom is
when
very
bad. You say because I know your platform is liberty. Do you think
bring back liberty?
You said what?
Bring back liberty.
Bring back liberty. I know. What I'm saying is, do you think the problem with the platform is it wasn't pretty much as in detail or as centered as in one topic, and it was so broad that we're just throwing out so many ideas for people to grasp on, hoping they catch on to one? Or do you think that one idea like how Bernie Sanders runs on mostly healthcare. You know, how Elizabeth Warren tried to run on reparations and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you feel like that's that works?
Not at all. Like you just pointed out, the people in the major political arena, they talk about multiple issues at once. You know, if it isn't gun control or abortion or homelessness, it's your goal as a problem solver to speak about all of these different issues and how you would resolve them, and that's what I was doing. That's why I supported the idea of legalizing, sex workers and decriminalizing all substances, etc., because these are broad strokes that were, if I to get elected, could help out everyone.
And sex workers, they get treated like crap.
Absolutely.
And, I have a lot of successful friends, and most of my successful friends, they always, well, I'm not gonna say most. Some of my successful friends tell me that if you're successful, you pay for women.
Yeah. I mean, well, I want to say,
well, not like that. I mean, not like that.
Industry, which is also scrutinized,
but not like that. It's just when I look at sex work, I don't call it prostitution or sex work. I call it survival sex, because it's survival sex. They're having sex to survive. This is their way of. No, you're laughing. I'm serious.
Not everybody. Some of them are called entertainers for a reason. They enjoy.
But that's how they survive. If they're entertainers, that's how they survive to eat. That's how they survive to pay their bills. That's how they make their money. Maybe they didn't have a degree. Maybe they didn't go to Harvard. Maybe they didn't, grow up in a beautiful home with a white picket fence and the dog, and a golden retriever. They maybe didn't have that beautiful lifestyle like you did, Wildstar. Maybe they grew up crappy, and they got that was a shot. So, when they get into this sex work and they enjoy what they do and they're surviving off of it, barely surviving, because nowadays you can't buy a house if you don't got a good credit score. You can't pay taxes off of sex work. You're not really contributing to society. So when these women are having sex work to survive, if it was decriminalized, they could do it freely and openly. We don't beat up the adult entertainers like that, do we? We do not beat up they have sex on camera for the whole world to watch. And,
you know why?
To see.
And these people are doing fees.
And these people are doing private sex work in people's homes and in their homes and people's cars and their cars. I don't know what they do with that, but I know they're doing it, and they're being arrested for it. And it's a victimless crime. There's no victim in this. Nobody's getting hurt. Now, if there's somebody trafficking these women, if there's the pimp, he needs to be held accountable. Exactly. I believe no woman should be out there being sold or trafficked without her consent. But if she is willingly out there selling her body, and she willingly has a guy with her that is getting a pay out of what she's doing because he's her protection, she is the small business owner. She is the entrepreneur. She now has staff. And if I want Black people to get in the mind of entrepreneurship, of small businesses. Jay-Z said it. He said, I sold a couple of keys. Oh, sorry, I dropped my phone. He said, if I sold a couple of keys, well, I'm guessing I could sell CDs. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. We need to use our freedom that our ancestors paid the price for and do something positive with it for our community, because we're living in too many neighborhoods and not enough communities. What happened to the community? Black-owned liquor store, Black-owned grocery market, Black-owned car shop, Black-owned smog shop, Black-owned chicken stands. We don't have that, You go into Chinatown or Koreatown, you see that. You go
Black-owned nail salons.
Black-owned nail salons.
Black-owned beauty stores.
Black-owned beauty stores, we don't see that much in our community. Usually you see them, you see the Arabs coming in our community, the Indians, the
Black-owned gas
Asians, South
stations.
Asians, and we don't own none of this. And we're not intellectually independent. But when you see us selling weed, or you see us engaging in survival sex, or you see us hustling by any means, we're engaging in entrepreneurship, just not using it at the capacity of the oppressor. Make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to
But on a higher level, on a completely higher level, you know, we lack from we lack and we suffer from a lack of knowledge. With that being said, what if we could take this entrepreneur mindset that we have, we can take these skills that we have in our community when it comes to getting ours and putting people on and supporting one another to a higher level, to a more intricate way of thinking, you know, in a more articulate way, because I'm not the most articulate person. But if we can get somebody out there to articulate the message in a meaningful way, in an effective way, that can galvanize our people when it comes to a agenda with a purpose, I think that could take not only the Black community to the next level, I think that it could take the entire United States of America to the next level. Because when it comes to bridging that gap, we haven't really started bridging the gap between the older African Americans and the younger African Americans, law enforcement and community, the church and the creator, people that believe in the creator and the Ashe and all that. We haven't really tried to bridge that gap. We just say, oh, they with them, that's that, and we over here and we this, you know, and that's unacceptable when it comes to bridging the gap. We need to reach out to our young hustling brothers out there. We need to reach out to our young sisters out there that's out there and teach them that there's a way to do things the right way. The right way. And we want people to be successful and live a great quality of life, but we want people to do it the right way.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. That's why I think when it comes to achieving the Black agenda, something we can talk about more in detail on Tuesday on my show.
But Wildstar,
what?
The mental health in the Black community has been ignored for far too long.
Of course. This is the thing. What did Malcolm X say? He said, if you let people of another culture, another religion, educate your children, then they're never going to learn the truth. They're going to learn someone else's truth, their truth, whoever is in control. So we, in our own neighborhoods, we don't have Black-owned schools. We don't have Black-owned mental health facilities. You know what I'm saying? If we did, then maybe we would have more professionals.
But these mental health facilities across the nation are failing miserably.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. And they expanded their way of applying their knowledge. Let's say, for instance, you had someone that was of African American descent or African descent, whatever the case may be, that were studied in comedic knowledge. They would have a different understanding of how to treat the body, you know, and how to treat our mind, because we're different people, the melanated kind, and we need to be treated differently. We also have to cultivate that on our own. We can't expect for the white man to provide that for us. You know, if we ever expect the European to provide all of this for us, this structure, it's never going to happen. It hasn't until now, and it never will. And one way that we can achieve that, of course, is start harnessing the black dollar, you know, the power of that money, start using that in our own communities, start supporting each other, start investing into each other, get those loans and build those.
We need, but you know, like Malcolm X says, we have to become intellectually independent to move to that. As a people, we have to also, you know, we have to discuss the mental health crisis in our communities. When you look at the homeless numbers, most of the homeless are African Americans.
Yeah.
When you look at the incarceration numbers,
A great majority of them are.
Exactly. Most of them are African Americans when it comes to incarceration. When it comes to those affected by the poor supply of food, and when it comes to high blood pressure and diabetes and heart attacks and HIV and coronavirus, the Black community.
Yeah.
When it comes to being in poverty for generational poverty with no end in sight, the Black community.
I think a
The
lot of
Black
that has to
community,
do with targeting
the
also.
Black community has not only been targeted, the Black community has been neglected because the Negroes at the top have forgotten that they came from the bottom.
Well, another thing is I also
And
think
not all the Negroes, not all the brothers and sisters out there, not all of them forgot where they came from. Not
no.
all of them didn't sell out. So we gotta make sure that those who have sold out to the oppressor, when it's time for the revolution, they stay their ass over there.
Yeah, they stopped getting our money. That's for sure. We should
Well, we
definitely.
gotta until we become intellectually independent and talk about the mental health in our communities, talk about the depression, talk about the trauma that we as Black people, the generational trauma that we have been put through.
Yeah, I mean, look what's going on right now in the
When people see me grieving and they see me wilding, that wasn't because of just I lost Stefan in a horrible tragedy, unacceptable, uncalled for situation. It was because I also lost the older brother. I lost a sister.
Right.
I paid a price for this agenda in a way where, you don't know me, you don't know my pain. People can last 15 seconds in these shoes.
Yeah, not to mention again the effect of Black trauma. It's already
And
in
the
your psyche before it happens.
trauma can affect the mental,
Of course.
some people say, you know what? I used to tell people all the time, I need you to understand the difference between pain and mental illness. I'm not mentally ill. I'm not sick in the head. I'm hurt.
Yeah.
I'm in pain. I'm in heartache. I'm heartbroken.
Yeah.
And I was at that point where I was like, I wish somebody would. You know it. You remember.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean.
And for a fact that I probably didn't sleep that much. And I was probably so ready for a revolution, so focused on trying to get change done.
Right.
I didn't realize the price was being paid at that moment that we were doing it. I didn't realize how the pain was affecting me because I was so focused on the revolution. I couldn't believe people would be okay with living in a society that keeps killing them and beating them and torturing them and oppressing them and holding them back and fighting against what's right for them. Yeah. I cannot believe that even though I'm in pain, I still felt like the fight had to happen. And I felt like I was in it alone, Wildstar. I was in it by myself. I know that a few of us were fighting with us and they were there and they were rocking for whatnot. But I felt like that us as a people, us as a community, whenever you see our people going out there doing things, you always see some types of other ethnicities try to come out for support, and they do come out for support, and we appreciate all their support. But what they'll say is, it'll say something like Democrats for Black Lives or the Asian community for Black Lives or something like that. That should be a wake-up call for Black people. Yeah. That should be that call that other cultures, other nations are seeing the problem what's going on within us in our community, that they are coming in solidarity for us
Right. And that's the problem is, again, we're too busy being reliant on someone being sympathetic for us to come into the picture and help us instead of us being brave, fighting through the pain like you did for the revolution and saying, no, I want it right now. Had people actually paid attention, who knows what could have had happen, you know? But it definitely takes a matter of us overcoming our own setbacks, because the black people have been largely targeted, and we
What you
have.
mean largely targeted? All we have been is targeted.
Yeah,
We've
of
been
course.
targeted since 1619 when they
Yeah,
brought our black asses over here and traded us for some food.
but we
We
haven't been the only
we
target.
we
I'm saying
it
we got a big ass bullseye on our back.
yeah.
So do Spanish people. So do fucking Asians.
But we the reason but you know our mental health has been affected by this trauma.
Yeah,
This trauma of why am I being born in the projects? Why am I on welfare?
and
Why
that's
do I
what I'm
have to
saying.
apply for
We
Section
gotta
8?
we gotta get over that
Why
mentality.
why does daddy keep hitting mommy? Why does my uncle like boys? You know,
Mhm.
these are problems in black communities that are not addressed
Yeah,
properly. These are, black people getting sent. Mothers are being sent to jails and having their children from behind bars.
yeah, that is true.
Kids being locked up and sent to adult prisons here in America. Khalif Browder, look at Khalif Browder's situation. They messed. Khalif Browder was okay. I don't know if you know the Khalif Browder story, Wildstar.
No, no.
Khalif Browder, you do? Okay, well, you know his situation. You know how he was targeted by this corrupt system. And
Mm-hmm.
you see how he got out of jail after fighting this corrupt system and not admitting to being guilty, because they want you to admit to being guilty even though you are not guilty. They just
Right.
want you to admit to it because, hey, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're gonna do because you're weak. That's what they believe. They believe we're weak. So
Exactly.
Khalif Browder said, no, I'm not weak. I'm not finna bow. I'm not finna cow down. Speaking of Khalif Browder, I'm gonna have his brother Akeem Browder on Conversation with Mr. Clark coming up very, very, very soon. I want everybody to be a part of that. But they tried to use my brother, but my brother was strong. He was not no coward. He was not no punk. He fought. He made it out. And those demons, that pain, that hell he went through at Rikers Island, caught up to him
Mm.
because he had the heart. Oh, Khalif wasn't no punk. Khalif had the fight in him, but it affected him mentally.
Yeah.
That way the system was able to break him down as a man.
Yeah.
Break him down as a man. My heart breaks for the Khalif Browder family. My heart breaks for them. But when you see,
I lost you, man. I don't know what just happened to Brother Stevante. Hopefully he'll jump back here in the session. But hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. See, we got some people here in the room. Charlie Saint says you got heart. Kirby Lynn says conversation too real. What's up? Thank you for jumping in. Ebony Harper. Hello to you all. I got my man TJ. What's up? What's up? And Victoria and Joseph. What's up? What's up? I don't know how many people are actually in the conversation. I just can see those that are here making comments. So, of course, you're welcome to make a shout out and we'll shout you out. But yeah, my man Stevante, unfortunately, looks like he got disconnected. But unfortunately, I gotta get out of here as well. I got an 8-month-year-old or 8-month-old. I don't know why I'm 30-year-old. He is getting big as hell though, and he'll be a year old soon. So yeah, I got a newborn baby. He's 8 months. There he is. He's back.
we don't give a damn about your newborn baby. No, I'm
Yes, we
playing
do.
now. Nah, shout out to Baby Wildstar. You know,
Thank you. Yeah,
Baby
I gotta
Wildstar is the future.
get out of
Baby
here.
Wildstar.
I got unfortunately.
Baby
Thank
Wildstar.
you, sis. Congratulations. I appreciate it.
Am I live? Am I on here still? Wildstar, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you.
Okay, mine's is on. Yeah, everybody, I want everybody to congratulate Wildstar on his baby and send them money. Wildstar, what's your cash app so they can send you money?
Oh, much love to you. Hey, I appreciate it. Every little bit helps, but yeah, if you head over to my website, governorwildstar.com, you can check out more about me, my political campaigns, my activism, etc. And like my man said, if you want to make a donation, just click on the donate button. I have a Bitcoin wallet, cryptocurrency wallet up there also. So if you want to send me Bitcoin, Dash, Ethereum, all that good stuff, I'll take that too. But but
Hey,
yeah,
Wildstar.
definitely stay connected because we the people are the revolution.
Yes, Wildstar, I want to thank you for being a guest. It's
Hey,
always good to have you on Conversations with Mr. Clark. You know, we always have that passionate dialogue, but you know, we always got to keep in mind that mental health is a serious issue when it
absolutely.
comes to solving not just the problem in the Black community, but solving the homeless issue. I
Mm-hmm.
believe mental health and addiction is a large part of the reason the homeless numbers keep going up. Okay, I just got a quote on my followers saying your website's not working. Oh no, they said, oh, it's good, work now.
Uh,
Um,
I'm like,
the
I was
mental health, anything when it comes to, I wanna leave with this because I want to live. I don't like talking about problems without solutions. When it comes to the mental health issue, how do you get through the mental health, and what would you what you know, because we go through a lot of stresses working within these political circles and avenues that sometimes our mental health could be affected possibly.
mm-hmm.
What kind of healing, what kind of self-care do you take or do you practice to besides working out to help you get through it?
Well, personally, I like to meditate. My wife, she's a holistic therapist. She's trained in that. You can check her out at crystalshealingarts.com. But that's actually a service that she provides as a profession. So, and she does crystal healing treatments on me where she'll align my chakras using crystal and do meditative healing treatments on me, like Reiki treatments. Go for nature walks. Go for a jog. You know, just sit outside. Shit, go smoke a blunt outside. Watch the trees blow in the wind. You know, shit like that. You know,
We don't
stop.
want. All right, all right. We don't want to promote. We don't. All right, thank. We don't promote that right now. We don't promote the devil's letters right now. Everybody, we don't promote that. Look, everybody, look. We love you, Wildstar.
I
Thank
love
you
you,
for
brother.
joining. I appreciate you for your time.
Till next time. Much
I
love.
would love to have you back as a guest.
Oh,
Whenever I can get you back on, you're always somebody that who has a different opinion than most. And whenever I could be a guest on your show, you know I'm always down for it, brother.
hey, we talking on Tuesday on Black Side of Liberty. So
I
please.
can't wait for it. Thank you, Wildstar. I appreciate you, brother. You have a good one. Take it easy now.
God
All
bless you.
right. God bless you too. This wrapped up a conversation with Mr. Clark with Nickolas Wildstar. That was an intriguing, interesting, powerful conversation. Hope you guys can all stay tuned in, stay connected with the movement. If you want to join the de-escalation tactical team, if you want to help be a part of Stephon Clark Sundays, if you want to help be a part of Blessed Child Neighborhood Association, if you want to help when it comes to building this resource center and making this thing a reality, if you want to help when it comes to attacking the mental health issue and crisis in your community, please send an email to iamsacfoundation@gmail.com. That is iamsacfoundation@gmail.com. And me or someone from my team will personally get directly to you. And if they do not get to you, everybody fired. All right. Thank you, everybody. Everybody love everybody. I love you all. Have a great evening.